Let's move on to NBA news because it was a big week in the NBA. Obviously, it was the NBA draft. You had the Cavaliers that had the one pick again, miraculously. I don't know who the fuck they're blowing in the lot. Maybe they're fucking the lottery balls.
Hey, you know what? They didn't fuck this pick up,
the fuck out of lottery.
No Anthony Bennett pick here.
No, they were smart. I mean, they were played smart, and they went with shooting guard Andrew Wiggins out of Kansas. I thought that was a smart pick for them at number one. At number two, you had the Milwaukee Bucks going with Jabari Parker from Duke, who's a small forward. Another smart move. And then we got to the number three pick.
Horrible.
And that was the 76ers. And
just in case y'all didn't realize, I live in Philadelphia. So what does that mean when I drive home? I get to listen to Philadelphia sports radio.
Right. What were they saying about this pick?
Oh, my sweet Jesus. Everyone in the world wanted them to take Embiid, take Embiid, take Embiid, take Embiid, take Embiid. Guess what? You took Embiid. Guess what? He might never, ever play.
Yeah.
Last year, you took a player who didn't play.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you guys cannot build a franchise on fucking hope.
Yeah.
And that's what you've done. You're hoping Noel plays. Because, you know what? Depending on what radio station you listen to, he's at 100% or he's at 20% or 30%. They don't know how Noel is. Yeah. Noel weighs about as much as my dinner.
And when you have that, George, you make a good point. It's like, even some of the analysts were like saying, it was great. We know that Joel Embiid was the most talented player in the draft. That's fine.
The biggest upside.
Yeah, the biggest upside because he's a center and he plays center he's like Hakeem Olajuwon. The problem is so was Greg Oden. So, I mean, you see all these players that, especially centers, your big men. It is just so hard that you see centers that are really good. Like, I'm so surprised what Anthony Davis is doing right now.
Yeah.
Like, he's
But he's built different. If you look at him structurally, he's not built like Noel. He's built more like Embiid, but big, even thicker and heavier than Embiid.
Yeah, broad through the shoulders and stuff.
My thing is, Embiid missed most of the season with a fractured back, and then he fractures his foot. He's either brittle or he's made of paper mache. I don't know what's going on.
And all these Sixers fans, I mean, you're looking at, okay, what do you have? What type of team do you have that's competitive this year? I mean, you look at your season last year, your team's fine, and you just drafted a player that probably can guarantee no fucking playing time.
And then you take Michael Carter-Williams last year, and all they're doing in the city is talking about getting rid of him. He won Rookie of the Year. I understand the draft class wasn't that great, but he still won Rookie of the Year, and they draft a point guard with their last pick.
And then you look at this shit, and you look at what their record is. These players not being able to play together as a unit ever because none of them are always healthy. You saw that with Washington for a while. They had so many injuries and stuff, and you saw what happened to the Los Angeles Lakers with injuries. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so how do you recruit another player? Say you're a big free agent, right? And you're trying to put together something in Philadelphia, and you see what they have. Are you going there?
No, it's the match squad.
Yeah.
Now, you would think a team that has 2 picks in the top 10, they were picking at 3 and 10, you probably either package those up and get to 1 to get the guy you really want, or you know what? Fuck it. Just wait till 10 and pick a quality player. So what do they do at 10?
They get Elfrid Payton.
And then they trade him to the Magic. For who?
What?
Exactly. They traded their rights for a dude in Croatia who's not even eligible to play because he just signed a 2-year deal. He signed a 2-year extension and you drafted him anyway? Like, what are you thinking?
I just don't know what they're doing, man. I mean, honestly, the GM's if you're the owner of the 76ers, you gotta look at your GM and say, man, you gotta fucking go. You gotta fucking go, man. I mean, it's that, This is
only his 2nd year on the job.
He still got it, so? Who gives a fuck? You gotta act like fucking dude over in fucking Cleveland, fucking hire his whole coach back for like 3.5 hours and say, yeah, fuck it, man, I made a mistake. You gotta get the fuck out of town. Or you gotta start fucking kicking people out like the Lakers do.
I don't want to do anything like the Lakers are doing right now. But here's on honesty, if I'm the 76ers, I would rather have reached for a player that I know produced like a Randle
Right.
or Noah Vonleh. They produced. You've seen them produce. They've played. They've played a complete fucking season in college. No, let's draft a guy who may or may not play. Draft another dude who, honestly, we can't even discuss playing for 2 more years.
Right.
Why not draft a known commodity? What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
You're drafting on hope and upside.
Yeah.
What if the upside isn't there? Look at Sean Bradley. How'd that shit turn out?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Sean Bradley. Look at fucking Andrew Bynum. Like, I mean, they've just made so many bad fucking choices. Anyway, fuck the 76ers, because they're terrible as shit. Number 4, the Magic drafted, okay, it was Aaron Gordon, and he's a power forward out of
and then
Arizona.
Dante Exum got picked, but let's just talk about the Celtics. The Celtics picked up the ugliest player in all of the draft, with Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart.
That dude's he is a proactive commercial away from being on TV. Good God,
But, Marcus Smart, yeah, he point guard at Oklahoma State. Now,
he's got to go play the 2.
Well, maybe he'll
Because
just
he's not a 1. He was a shooting guard at Oklahoma State.
No, he was a point guard.
He played like a shooting guard.
Well, you know what? That's the whole thing in the NBA now. That's the thing. You get point guards like, you know, he plays it like fucking whatchamajig, Westbrook over in Oklahoma City. Like, it's so common now. Like now, you don't see real point guards like Chris Paul, like where they just dish the ball off. That's why they said LeBron could be a bad fit in Clipperland, because
I don't see how that's even possible.
Well, not that it would be a bad fit, but what they're saying. Yeah, I understand what they're saying though. They're saying that. I think what they're saying is now, because LeBron is so fucking talented and he can dish the ball off, you know what I mean? He can do a lot of stuff. Kind of like you saw with fucking Boris Diaw with San Antonio. That fucking motherfucker was I mean, he was like a fucking point forward. He was a point forward. LeBron has that type of talent too. And now all of a sudden you have this Hall of Fame type point guard in Chris Paul. And you're like, okay, who's going to do what? You know, so I think for a while what they're saying is, I think they're wording it wrong. I think it's going to take a while. If LeBron was a Clipper, it would take a while to find out, okay, how are we going to run this offense?
You know what I love best about all this?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone sits there and talks about how LeBron's not going to fit, how LeBron wouldn't. Yet, when they talk about Carmelo Anthony, nothing like that gets mentioned.
Because he fucking shoots. That's all he does is shoot.
Right. So where does that fit into anybody's
Chicago
offensive? Really? Because when's Derrick Rose going to get a chance to shoot? When's Derrick Rose going to get a chance to shoot?
When he plays, Nick. When he plays. He hasn't had a chance to shoot in 2 years. That's when Chicago's like, fuck it, we're going to get Melo because Derrick Rose probably get hurt again.
And Derrick Rose said, I'll take Kevin Love over Carmelo.
Yeah, so would I. Yeah. I would love to have Kevin Love. But, you know, that brings us on to
best pick of the draft. Best pick in the top 10 outside of, I mean, to me.
Lakers pick? Yeah.
Julius Randle?
Julius Randle has a lot of fucking talent. And when you talk about double-doubles in college, I think the only player to have more double-doubles as a freshman, I know he had more double-doubles than Kevin Love. I think there was one other player that might have had as many double-doubles, or more doubles than him as a freshman. He's a guy that can come in and make a difference right now.
And a lot of teams need that. And you know what my favorite part about Tyrone's interview was? He's like, every team who passed on me, I'm gonna bust your ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna regret.
And he's thugging and bugging. That's what he looks like. That whole Mark Cuban thing, trust me, if this brother was on one side of you, man, okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, and he's the kind of guy, he likes to play physical. He likes to fucking mix it up and be physical down on the post and everything. I think that's a good thing. I think that's the thing that the Lakers were looking for, one, because I don't think to some degree they got that with Powell, you know?
Right.
So they needed that. At number 8, the Sacramento Kings took Nick
Stauskas.
Yeah, who's actually was a shooting guard out of Michigan who's awesome.
Yeah, who would fit in with the Kings well. Noah Vonleh from Indiana goes to the Hornets, and then things get ugly. The only other pick from here on out that I was even remotely interested in was Dougie McBuckets. He ends up getting picked and traded to the Bulls, which will be interesting because they compared him to Wally Szczerbiak. I don't think he has the quickness that Wally Szczerbiak did, because Wally Szczerbiak played 2.
Yeah.
Dougie McBuckets, I don't think could guard a lamppost in the NBA, so I'm not sure who he's going to guard. And if you have him and Carmelo on the floor at the same time, Thibodeau likes to play defense. He plays defense first, offense second. So I don't see how you have Doug McBuckets and Carmelo on the floor at the same time, because I'm
going to tell you what. I didn't think about this until you just said that. Because I'm thinking, okay, you know, when I saw this, I'm like, why would they draft Doug, McDermott and and then try to and know that they're going out there for a fuck, because they're the exact same position, him and Carmelo, okay? And they need somebody to score points. So why would they try to draft him and then go for Melo? And then I'm thinking, okay, Derrick Rose is, like you said, he's been talking about Kevin Love. Maybe they got McDermott and said, okay, he's going to be our guy that helps Rose score, and maybe they're going to make a run for Love. And Love might be like, you know what? This is the fucking team. I got Joakim Noah to help me in the post. He's physical.
Joakim?
What is it? Jackum?
Wacom.
I can't remember.
Whack-a-mole?
Jokum. Macklemore.
Macklemore? What?
That motherfuckers. Where's Macklemore?
Ben Macklemore plays for the Kings.
No, man, Macklemore. Macklemore.
Yeah, he needs to hit.
But they've got Noah. They
don't need Melo.
Huh?
They don't need Melo.
I think if the Bulls got Kevin Love,
it'd be nasty.
I think that's a team that's going to all of a sudden be nasty if Derrick Rose comes back healthy.
Then the East sucks.
Now, moving off the draft, because we're just talking about the major picks and the ones we thought were going to make an impact. There was a lot of talent, obviously, in the draft this year.
So a lot of people opted out of their contracts.
Everybody opted out of contract. And, obviously, George and I'll be right back here in a few days once free agency begins, because it's going to be crazy. You got teams like the Heat that have a depleted roster. Now, you've got everybody. I mean, you've got
Battier retired.
Mm-hmm.
Haslam, Bosch, Wade, and Braun all opted out.
Right. They all just said, fuck it. They all opted out. Now, everybody said, they're going everywhere. Come on, guys. If Dwayne Wade, okay, it would make sense for Chris Bosh to do it. It makes sense for LeBron to do it. But Dwayne Wade, where he is in his career right now, just fucking gave up a lot of fucking money, okay? He's not going to make that money anywhere. Nobody's going to fucking pay him that. So for him to give it up, then he must have discussed with LeBron and said, hey, man,
Look, word on the street is they were going to try to make a run at Kendrick Perkins.
Mm-hmm.
If they make a run at Kendrick Perkins, and then they make a run at, let's say, a Bledsoe or Kyle Lowry.
Yeah. That could be a nasty team.
And then if Braun and Bosch come back,
mm-hmm.
I don't care what happens to Dwayne Wade. He barely played last season.
Yeah.
That could cause issues. Serious issues.
That would be great. Now, they freed up an incredible amount of cap space, and we know Pat Riley's fucking crazy. He's aggressive as shit. He might be
as aggressive as he wants, but when he looks back at the owner and goes, hey, can you cut me a check? And the owner's like,
Yeah.
Then Pat Riley can only do but so much. That owner sits on that wallet.
And the owner is going to have to think about, so we get Braun back, say we get Bosch and Wade. We got the three. And then we definitely, obviously we couldn't win the title with just those three. And now we hurt in depth last year. We're hurting more. Ray Allen says he wants to come back for an 84th season. So, I mean, he looked great. I mean, I don't know if he'll come back with the Heat. But
Jesus Shuttleworth was thrown down.
But you lose some good defensive players.
I mean,
is Birdman going to be back? Is fucking Battier going to be back coming off the bench? I mean, and your defense had already started to slip. So they've got to look at what's going on. And as good as you see all these players, always go back to the year the Lakers had Kobe, Shaq, Karl Malone, and Gary Payton. Okay? Fucking nasty. And you know who beat them when they made it to the finals? The Detroit Pistons, who play exactly like the San Antonio Spurs. They had Chauncey, and they had Tayshaun, and they had Rashid, and they just had guys that knew how to play together as a unit. And that will win championships. Good defensive teams.
Really?